Holy Bible. Summary of the Book of Luke. Luke is the 42nd book of the Bible and third of the New Testament. The Luke Gospel recounts the life and ministry of Jesus, detailing events from his birth to his ascension. It is probable that the Gospel of Luke was written 30 years after the death and resurrection of Christ. Luke, who was a doctor, accompanied Paul on his journey. There is evidence that Luke began writing at the time when Paul was imprisoned in Rome. Throughout the 24 chapters of his book, Luke presents Jesus as the Son of God, the perfect man, showing him through his humanity and compassion. Unlike the other evangelists, Luke apparently had no direct contact with him. He was not an apostle. Their stories were written through interviews with people who lived with Jesus, followed his ministry, and by the examination of historical documents. In the opening chapters, information is given about the early years of life of Jesus and John the Baptist, and when they both began their ministries. Here we are also presented the record of the genealogy of Christ from Adam, including King David to the family of Mary. We see also the healings made by Jesus at the beginning of his ministry. Luke makes clear his compassion for the people he healed. The parables of the Good Samaritan and the prodigal son are mentioned in this gospel. Throughout the chapters, we follow various events from the sending of apostles to preach the messages of the kingdom, through the last days of Jesus' ministry in Jerusalem, to the events that followed the death and resurrection of Christ. Therefore, in this gospel we can know the story of the birth of Jesus, the beginning of his ministry until his death and resurrection. In addition, we can understand his humanity and compassion with everyone. Help the channel that shares God's Word.